Judge claiming Giuliani is withholding information about assets that he could use to pay off these workers. This comes after Giuliani testified for 3 hours on Friday and again yesterday, explaining the delays about getting this information to them. Giuliani's lawyer says the judge was not protecting the plaintiffs but politicizing the justice system. Quote, "You did not see the plaintiffs in court, probably because this case is not about them. The case is about lawfare and the weaponization of the legal system in New York City." Ain't that the truth? For former New York City mayor and former attorney for President Trump, Rudy Giuliani, joining me right now to expand on this. It's good to see you, sir. Happy New Year. You know, as a Texan looking into New York, Mr. Mayor, it appears that politics, not the law, drives the judicial system there. How do you see it?
Well, in Manhattan and New York City, it's a completely corrupt democratic judicial system and a completely corrupt system for 150 years. With the exception of a few Republican mayors and a couple of independents, you can go back to Boss Tweed, and this is what they used to do. I'll just give you one example, okay? I testified for 6 hours, had to come back on Monday to testify. The judge took a recess and read his 20-page or so opinion about 10 minutes later. What does that tell you? He wrote it before I testified.
What?
At least he should have had the...
I don't want you to let that point go, because Judge Lyman, he sits there and you testify for 6 hours, and then he whips out this predetermined written statement before you had even concluded your arguments. That tells me the fix was in, yeah?
100%. He let me finish. He let the two lawyers argue. He said, "I'm going to take a few minutes." He went back into his room. He came out, and then he read a very long opinion with about 20 legal citations. Now, I was a law clerk to a federal judge on that very court. I'm sorry, I know what he did. He wrote the opinion over the weekend. And then he put me through the charade of, like you would in a Soviet trial, of testifying, and then he rendered the approved democratic conclusion. And do you know what my main problem was? I was asked an interrogatory to name all the lawyers I consulted in the last 5 years. Now, remember, over the last 5 years, I've been the attorney for the president in impeachment. I've been the attorney for the president in the Ukrainian matter. I've been the attorney for the president of the 2020 election. I myself have been put under about 13 different investigations, and I've talked to lawyers for about 30 other Trump-related people, begging lawyers to represent them. I've had lawyers cry on my shoulder in fear of what's going to happen to them if they represent Donald Trump. I have to have talked to 500 lawyers. So I said I can't answer that. And what the hell does that have to do with whether I have a Florida homestead or not? Obviously, they're looking for as many other lawyers that they can torture. The lead lawyer in this case is Hunter Biden's ex-law partner. He was a counsel to Burisma, the crooked company, and the Wilkie Farr law firm is funding this. So if you want a law firm and you like Donald Trump, just don't go to Wilkie Farr. I mean, the guy is a complete Democrat operative.
Well, look, you took me right where I wanted to go on this, because President-elect Trump has filed a 500-page lawsuit against Judge Juan Merchan and a Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg there in a bid to halt this absurd hush money sentencing spectacle they're trying to put on without anyone to check rogue judges and DAs in New York.
Yeah.
Wouldn't any citizen around the United States, or any business for that matter, wouldn't they be crazy to relocate to New York?
100%. Donald Trump was charged in an indictment that doesn't charge a crime. It says that he effected a false statement in a business record to further a felony. Going way back to the indictment, they never identified the felony. I don't understand how that isn't dismissed for a gross violation of due process. It'd be like saying, I arrest you, you're charged with a felony. And you say, well, which one of the 5,000? And I say, well, you can guess. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. I don't know how the American people put up with this. I mean, it's not even like in the case of this Judge Lyman. I know what judges who do this do. They render the decision beforehand. They give the poor jerk a chance to talk.
You know, folks, I thank God for my wonderful wife, my kids, my country, the greatest nation ever. And Americans like you who believe in the truth, the Chris Salcedo Show will never stop fighting for you.
The Chris Salcedo Show, for the news you need to know.